There's my ding. Welcome to MissouriNet.com. I'm Bill Pollock. It was a little slow. I was afraid, Matt, that it was one of those things where like a live shot on TV where they go to the anchor and they're just sitting there.
Slow ding would describe you in so many ways.
Yeah, for those of you that are not familiar with Google Hangouts, when it's ready to start recording this, we'll hear a little ding. But I was waiting for actually, there's two dings. The first one is kind of a warning. I heard the warning ding, didn't get the other ding, and I'm just, are we on yet? So anyway, that's just the way things are shaping up here for this Friday. Pre-game for Mizzou and Indiana. Matt Michaels from KTGR is joining us. You've got to go drill some posts into the ground today, right?
Yes, a little bit later on because we got our big Tiger tailgate at the Corduroy Stadium in McDeaver. KTGR.com if you want to get some free tickets. There are all kinds of locations you can go and ask them if they have tickets, and they'll give them to you. And that's free food and beverage and a good time.
And then how early is that before the game? Game's at 3. What time's the gates open up?
Gates open at 1 there, so 2 hours before every home game.
And you better get there early.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for like the Georgia game, for some of these SEC games, They'll hand out like 2,000 tickets. So it's a big party.
Last week, I got up into the press box and got my computer set up, and everything was turned on, and I was ready to go just as they were kicking the ball off. And I left my house, and I'm not going to say where I live, but what would normally take 20 minutes to get, it took me an hour and a half to get from my house.
Wow.
To park and then to walk and get into the stadium. The traffic on Stadium Boulevard was just crazy. And I thought I gave myself plenty of time. I left an hour and a half before the game, so I've got to leave certainly earlier than that. So a little advice as you get ready for some of these big SEC games, and give yourself plenty of time because the traffic is just horrible. People are coming out earlier, and I think they're partying, and it's turning into a college football atmosphere at Mizzou. And I never thought I would say that, Matt.
Well, I always thought there was some sort of atmosphere like that. But, yeah, some of the crazies, the big tailgates. I saw a picture on Twitter. Somebody posted it. I don't know who. It was an Auburn stuffed tiger tailgate against a Mizzou stuffed tiger tailgate. And who did it better? And it was just tailgates with a bunch of these stuffed tigers that you could win in, like, the crane machine at the grocery store. And it was a ton of them. And one had Auburn Tigers and one had Missouri Tigers. I'm like, now officially there are people latching on to this whole SEC craziness thing. I like that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's great. Listen, and I'm very critical of Mizzou fans, and I have been. But I'll tell you what, though, since football got into the SEC, even before the SEC East Championship leading up to that. I mean, the year before that, we're starting to grasp it, and people here in Missouri are starting to get it. And I think the rest of the SEC, fans and teams, you better take notice of Missouri because I think we know what we're doing here. And when I say we, I mean the University of Missouri. I'm talking as a whole here.
Georgia fans, I think, were nothing but complimentary a couple of years ago. I've heard only good things, saying people are actually nice. They don't really give opposing fans as much grief as they do at other places. So if we're one of the nicer ones, then that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, one final non-conference game. It's against Indiana. And, Matt, I'm trying to get excited about this game, and I'm trying to look at their offense and say, well, their offense can be explosive. Their defense is like Swiss cheese. It has more holes in it than you can imagine. I mean, is this a game at all? I mean, this or does Indiana pose some type of a threat?
Well, the only reason they pose some type of a threat is because they can score. I mean, last year Indiana scored 28 points on Missouri. That's about as many points as anybody not named Auburn was able to put up on the Tigers all season long. They've got a good running back. Tevin Coleman's rushed for 200 yards already once this season, and he's averaging about 190 or so. He's the top rusher in FBS coming into this game. But, Coleman could run for 250, 300 yards, and it might not make a difference because Indiana's defense, they're just not on the same level. Kevin Wilson was the former offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. He knows his offense, and Indiana is known for it. They were close to a top 10 team in total offense last year. They can't score. I mean, so what's the point? If Mizzou does what it should and get up a couple of scores early, they can pick whatever they want in this game.
I guess that's the thing as we look for this Saturday kickoff at 3 p.m. Mizzou and Indiana is that at least this is somewhat of a test for the defense because, we really haven't seen the secondary challenged yet. I mean, at times in the first 3 games, but they haven't been challenged. There's been some deficiencies in the run stop. So, I mean, this would be a really good final tune-up with games coming up against South Carolina and Georgia in the next 2 on their schedule.
That's the way I see it. I think that's the way most media folks see it. Now, is that the way the team sees it and the fans see it? I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody goes into these games thinking it's a tune-up. I think they go into it thinking it's another test, because if you get a player on Gary Pinkel's team taking a play off, I mean, somebody's going to notice eventually. That's why they have film study. That's why they have Sundays. That kind of stuff gets weeded out. I just think that, I looked at this game up and down and every which way, and yeah, it could be a tune-up of some sorts. I think if you hold Coleman to under 120 yards on the ground, you've done very well as a Missouri defense, and I think that that's just giving credit to Coleman, not so much giving discredit to Mizzou. There may be fans after this game saying, well, what's up with those long plays in the run game again? I mean, it's very possible. He's a good back. Nate Sudfeld played a little bit last season and now is the guy as a junior for Indiana, but I don't see a whole lot of weapons. They have one wide receiver. They, like you said, Swiss cheese defense would be nice. I mean, Bowling Green was able to outscore them in the 40s last week. If that doesn't tell you everything you know about Indiana and what they pose on defense, I don't know what does.
All right, one quick question as we discuss the offense now for Mizzou. And when you think back about this, Russell Hansbrough gets a shot to the head. Marcus Murphy hobbled off. All of a sudden, you're looking at this thinking, man, last week's game could have been horrible for them. They could have been without their 3 top backs because Morgan Stewart is out already, but they could have been without Murphy and without Hansbrough. Very lucky to have those 2 players back this week.
I think that there's confidence in the third stringer right now, if you will, in Ish Witter. I think that Witter came in highly touted and can do some things, but he is still a freshman. And you've got to have experience up there. Hansbrough and Murphy, right now it's the 2-headed monster, maybe not the 3. And between the 2 of them, if you put them together, they rush just about 20 yards or so underneath what Todd Gurley does per game. So there's a reason you have them both there in the backfield. Hansbrough probably will learn not to truck anybody for the rest of the season. He ran right into a safety, and it turned into a brick wall for him. Murphy has got a lot of flash. He had an early play, remember, in that game. The first play from scrimmage was wiped out by an unnecessary hold or block in the back or whatever it was from Jimmy Hunt on a play that did go for a touchdown but then was brought back. The 2 of them are important, and they'll be important for Missouri all season long until proven otherwise. You can afford to lose one of them, especially if and when you get Morgan Stewart back. And I'm wondering now with Stewart and his hip injury if maybe they just decided, you know what, let's wait until the SEC season, and it's absolutely necessary to bring him back because we were told it was a hip bruise, and now it's just gone on to a hip issue, and he's been out for the first 4 games of the season. But if you start getting a little bit deeper in the depth chart, you're right, Bill. It's not been proven yet. It doesn't mean it can't prove itself, some of the depth there. But then again, would you really want to test that on the field late against South Carolina or Georgia or anybody else in the conference? I'm not sure you would.
Ish. Yeah, not to put you on the spot, but is Ish his full name? Is that short for something? Is that a nickname? What does that come from?
I think that's the name. I'm not certain. I could kind of thumb through a media guide. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's Ish. We go with Ish.
All right, we'll go with Ish. We'll go with Ish.
How about that Ish? That Ish is fantastic.
The dish on Ish. Maybe that'll be our segment next week. All right. I threw you one curve. I want to throw you one more because I want to show folks this. A couple of weeks ago, you were involved in a big family event. Is this your sister? Were you at groomsmen in a wedding?
Yes, that's my sister. I was up back in Chicagoland for my sister Laura's wedding. Absolutely.
I hope you don't mind that I put the picture up there.
It's been everywhere on Facebook. Yeah.
My question to you is thank God she got the looks out of the family. Your sister is gorgeous.
That's not even in the top 10 ranking of things that people have ever said to me about my sister. She's beautiful. I know it. So trust me. I've gotten way worse, Pollock.
She's smart and she's talented. Isn't she like a scientist or something? What is she? A violinist?
She's a structural engineer. So she makes 3 times the money that I do. She spent a whole year in New Zealand with her now husband, then fiance, and they were working on, the Christchurch earthquake. They were working on analyzing buildings like insurance claims that came back. So they said whether the insurance claim was baloney or not based on, their expertise. And they did that, all expenses paid, and they went skydiving, and they went, bungee jumping, and went to Thailand and Australia and all this stuff. And here I am, Joe Schmo.
You're pounding in posts for a tailgate party.
Yeah, if I get to go on a road trip to Kirksville, it's a day trip. These guys are going all over, international travelers. Yeah, no.
You traveled to Atlanta and Dallas with me.
Yeah, in a car for 10 hours. None of this first-class stuff. None of this sleeper cabin stuff.
Wait, let me bring that picture back up. Was this before the wedding? Was this taken like in your bedroom or something with the purple lighting? What is that?
It was a whole purple theme for the wedding, so that is at the reception.
It's sharp though, man. You look sharp.
Oh, well, thank you. I did my best.
But I mean, putting you up against her, I mean, nobody's going to win that battle.
No, it's no contest.
No. Well, you have a beautiful. I was looking at the picture. I know I'm screwing around with you, but beautiful family, and we didn't get a chance to talk much about that. But I saw that picture. I thought that's just a great picture, brother. I mean, you guys you can see the happiness. So
that is. They got a lot of great pictures out of that. It was a good day.
Yeah. So all right. Well, you're a good sport, and we'll get ready for the Tigers. And
am I really a good sport? I might just be in a good mood today, Pollock.
Well, I may have caught you at a good time. We'll find out tomorrow when you punch me in the gut up in the press box.
Probably. I give you more junk in the press box than you probably deserve, to be honest.
You probably say, if you ever flash a picture of my sister again, and it right in the gut, man.
Right in the kisser.
I'll be doubled over by the cookies. All right. Well, Matt Michaels from KTGR. Catch him on air today in Columbia from 4 to 6. What are all the frequencies? You're on like 6 frequencies in Columbia.
We're on 103.1, we're on 1580, and we're on 100.5 FM. And today we're going to be broadcasting from Rockbridge High School because that Hickman-Rockbridge game is coming up tonight.
Oh,
So we're taking the show on the road, if anything else, so we don't have to beat the traffic in after the show and try to get into a parking spot that doesn't exist. So we're going to be out there, and we're going to do the show live and then do the broadcast of the football game on 100.5 tonight.
Beautiful. All right, good stuff, Matt. We'll see you tomorrow. Busy weekend for you, and we'll talk more Mizzou here in the near future.
Oh, sounds good, Bill.
All right, a great affiliate of ours in Columbia, Missouri, Matt Michaels from KTGR, and I'm Bill Pollock. Thanks for watching us here at MissouriNet.com.